Today on Public Eye News, an investigation has begun after police officers responded to a deceased toddler in Ironwood Township, and later Attorney General Dana Nessel issues a consumer alert to warn against scammers.
Coming up, Teddy Maury has your weather forecast where we'll take a look at conditions for the rest of the week and heading into the weekend. And later, I'll take you through today's sports breakdown. I'm Emma Maratz.
And I'm Ashlyn Shadig. This is Public Eye News. The Gogebic County Sheriff's Department reported the discovery of a deceased 2-year-old. On March 19th, the County Sheriff's Department responded to a report of a dead young boy in Ironwood Township. When they arrived on the scene, they began to check the child for signs of life, but they confirmed the child was deceased. They secured the site and began the ongoing investigation. The Sheriff's Office claims there is no danger to the public. Authorities have said, quote, "This is a tragic incident. Losing a young member of our community is very hard for all of us. We will continue to investigate to determine what happened and will provide further updates to the public when the information is available," end of quote. And the Michigan Iron Industry Museum in Negaunee is closed indefinitely due to recent roof damage. Emergency stabilization will begin on March 23rd after the main gallery roof sustained structural damage. The trusses began to crack in February due to this year's heavy snowfall. The director of museums for the Michigan History Center claims that this year's winter conditions were more than the building could handle. The artifacts in the museum will be safely stored once the roof is stabilized. The museum remains committed to its mission of sharing Michigan's mining heritage.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer has announced that over 153,000 Michigan students received over $558.9 million in financial aid from the state of Michigan in the 2024 to 2025 school year. In the annual state scholarship and grant report, students that were attending public universities were given over $292 million, and over $184 million were given to students that go to community colleges. MyLeap has announced that there is an easier way to get financial aid, which is through the MISSG student portal. Michigan Reconnect is also a program that provides tuition-free college to adults that qualify. And reality TV star Taylor Frankie Paul is under public scrutiny after a video was released to TMZ on Thursday. Since the video was released, ABC has announced that they are not going to air Paul's season of The Bachelorette, which was set to premiere in 3 days. The video from 2023 shows Paul and her former partner Dakota Mortensen getting into a heated argument and included Paul throwing several metal stools at Mortensen with one of her children present. Paul was arrested in 2023 where she pled guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. Paul gained fame as a reality TV star on the hit Hulu show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which has since stopped production of season 5 due to a domestic violence investigation into Paul and Mortensen. And after a year in court, a new ICE detention facility has officially opened up in Leavenworth, Kansas. Local officials assure residents that the facility has passed through all the legal channels. CBS News' Gabby Luma has the latest.
This facility behind me has been empty for 5 years, and now it holds 20 detainees. We've learned that just within the last 24 hours that they arrived yesterday, Thursday. Now, this facility can hold up to 1,000 detainees. It's still unclear if ICE is planning to fill it up to capacity and how fast they will be doing so. Meanwhile, the city has made some promises to the community. Now, one of the biggest pieces of that promise is a community oversight board. Mayor Nancy Bowder says she already is working with staff to staff it with community leaders. She adds that that first group of detainees, those procedures will be worked through. Bowder argues the city spent a year in court to win the power to require a permit at all and is doing this the right way. That's a priority for her.
We need to make sure that we're working together to make sure that we have a safe town and a safe community here. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to do that.
They're going to be here for the long haul. We just want to make sure everything is run right.
As for next steps, we will be getting in touch with ICE regarding that next wave of detainees and their plans for further on down the road. We will also be watching as the city continues to put together that community oversight board. For now, from Leavenworth, Gabby Luma, KCTV 5 News.
Up next, Emma Moratz has the latest in local and state sports when she delivers today's Sports Breakdown. We'll be right back.
Coming up this week on High School Bowl, we enter even more rarefied air. We are now in our quarterfinals, our Erudite 8. In our first quarterfinal matchup, Negaunee goes up against Gladstone. Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and then we wrap up our second quarterfinal match with an Eastern UP grudge match as Sault Ste. Marie takes on Brimley. That's coming up this week on High School Bowl.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. Once again, I'm Emma Moratz here with your Friday Sports Breakdown. Starting in Lansing, the Ishpeming girls basketball team is going down to the Breslin Center to compete in the state championship. After coming back from a point deficit in the half, they defeated Morenci 37-34. Senior stars Janessa Eagle and Maya Hemmer combined brought in 35 points and are looking for another state title after their victory in 2024. Ishpeming won against Indian River Inland Lakes after the game was delayed due to the blizzard that hit the Upper Peninsula. The team faces off against St. Patrick for the title at 10 a.m. on Saturday. And going over to the wrestling mat, the University of Wisconsin Green Bay is in talks to start a men's wrestling program. This would be the second Division I wrestling program in the state. There will need to be significant funding if the program wants to run properly. One of the local high schools, Kaukauna High School, has one of the best wrestling programs in the state and includes 6 state titles. Some of the other high schools in the area are rich in talent, and a wrestling program would be beneficial to the entire state. The University of Wisconsin-Madison has the only wrestling program in the state at the moment. Ending with March Madness, Michigan State University had a first-round victory, defeating North Dakota State 92-67. The Spartans had a lead the entire time and never had less than a double-digit lead. Carson Cooper had the most points with 20 points and 10 rebounds, and was followed by Cohen Carr with 17 points. Jeremy Fears Jr. became the 6th Michigan State player in the last 60 years to record at least 10 rebounds in the NCAA tournament. Louisville defeated South Florida 83-79 and will play Tom Izzo and the rest of the Spartans on Saturday at 2:45 p.m. in Buffalo, New York. The number 3 and 6 seeds are wanting to advance in the East region of the March Madness tournament and will look at a shot at the title. That's all I have for sports. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you, Emma. Chuck Norris, famous for being a Hollywood actor and martial artist, passed away Thursday at the age of 86. The cause remains unknown. Norris was a 6-time undefeated world professional middleweight karate champion. He created his own style of karate and opened his own martial arts studio, attracting many notable names. He holds a 10th degree black belt, and in 1968 he started his acting career, where he would go on to star in over 20 movies. He recently celebrated his birthday on the 10th. He posted to social media saying, "I don't age, I level up." Today, the family asked for privacy during this time. And Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel is putting out a new consumer alert to help prevent people from falling for fraudulent text messages, specifically texts that claim the person has unpaid tickets or tolls, fraudulent court notices, and more. If you are to receive a message, you should not respond, and you should not click on any links that may appear in the message. Nessel has said that government agencies will not message you via text soliciting money, and if you do receive a suspended spam text message, you can report it by sending them to spam 7726. Officials have also encouraged people to install built-in spam protection on their phones. And it's been over a month and TSA workers are still not getting paid amid the ongoing partial government shutdown. As Americans deal with delays, members of Congress have left Washington for the weekend with no deal in sight. CBS Jared Hill has the latest.
At Atlanta's airport, long lines left flyers in disbelief.
What is happening?
Staffing shortages shut several checkpoints in Houston and Philadelphia, leaving soon-to-be passengers waiting for hours.
I don't know what the holdup is, but these people need to get paid.
TSA says more than 10% of their officers called out nationwide Wednesday as they missed paychecks over a month into the partial government shutdown.
We're 2 checks behind,
as of right now. Doing the job that we love doesn't pay those bills. Gratitude doesn't pay our bills.
The gridlock at the airport, no match for gridlock in Washington. TSA funding is being held up over an impasse on how to reform ICE and the Department of Homeland Security after agents killed 2 Americans in Minneapolis.
The Democrats care more about their radical open border activists than they do about Americans who are missing spring break because there are 4-hour delays.
Democrats are pushing to fund TSA while discussion over immigration enforcement continues.
We should separate out the area where we have a real dispute, and that is on ICE. What they did in Minneapolis has been traumatic for the country. That's the only place where there's a division.
We're just people that come to work every day to do our job, and all we expect you guys to do is do your job. Pay us for what we do.
Hoping for a clear path forward amidst the chaos. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Don't go anywhere, Teddy. We'll have your weather report when we come back.
38th District Senator Ed McBroom is now in his final months representing the Upper Peninsula in Lansing. Come January 1st, he will be term limited out of the Michigan legislature. So what's on the senator's agenda for his remaining time in office? And what happens after that? We will find out as he joins us here on WNMU for an extended discussion. A legislative update with Michigan Senator Ed McBroom is next time on Media Meet.
Back to Public Eye News, I'm Teddy Maury here with your Public Eye weather forecast. Looking at the NMU roof cam, you can see it's still quite snowy and a bit icy from winter's last hurrah that we had earlier this week, which has affected the rest of the Upper Peninsula, which, if we look at the map here, as you can see, up in Houghton, it is 36 degrees and cloudy. Ironwood is 43 degrees and sunny. Iron Mountain, 47 degrees and sunny. And down in Menominee, it is 50 degrees and sunny, nice and warm down there. Over in Escanaba, it is 46 degrees and cloudy. Manistee, 41 degrees and cloudy. Sault Ste. Marie is 31 degrees and a bit more foggy and misty. And back in Marquette, it is 42 degrees and partially sunny. Looking further into that, the winds are coming from the north at 10 miles per hour, and our barometric pressure is 29.81 inches and rising. Tonight, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a low of 27 degrees. Wind still coming from the north, but at 5 degrees, and our moon phase is going to be a waxing crescent. Looking at tomorrow, it's going to be a bit of a snow and rain mix, so that could cause some icy roads, with the high being a 42 degrees and low 28 degrees, with the winds coming from the south at 10 miles per hour. And looking further ahead, on Sunday, it's going to snow, and it's going to be a high of 31 degrees and a low of 19. Monday is going to be a high of 34 degrees and a low of 29, and it's going to be a little mostly sunny. Same thing with Tuesday, with a high of 38 degrees and a low of 22 degrees. That's all I have for your weather today. Here is Ashlyn and Emma.
Thanks, Teddy, for that weather update. Hopefully the sun is here to stay.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you have another 2 more stories for us.
I do, actually. NMU is set to host a stage reading of a play surrounding memories of September 11th, 2001. The play talks about residents' memories of the horrific time in American history. 2026 marks the 25th anniversary of the attacks on the Twin Towers. There will be 3 readings, with the first reading on March 26th through the 27th at 7 p.m., and then a showing at 2 p.m. on the 28th. All showings are free to attend. And yesterday was NMU's Giving Day, where over $144,514 were collected across 561 donors. 2 departments were the lucky recipients of the NMU Power Hour donations, which were the theater and dance and women's soccer team.
Now that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ashlyn Shadig.
And I'm Emma Moraz.
We'll see you later.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.